What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Beyond the 90. We've got a very special video for you today. And if you probably guessed by the thumbnail and the title, we're looking into Ryan Bertrand. We've done one on Daka, we've done one on Samore. Now we're coming on to our third sign, Ryan Bertrand. You probably know a little bit about him, but I want to take a deep dive, look into some statistics, look at the opposition's view in terms of the Saints fans. What are their views on that? That's coming up in a second. Where he plays, how he can work in the squad, who's he here to develop, what's his role, all that kind of stuff. You're going to want to tune in to the end of it. So make sure you like and subscribe and we'll get straight into the video. So as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, he has been announced. The club have officially announcement in a fantastic, lovely new shirt. We know that he's signing on a 2-year deal. It looks like there's an option of extended it from, if you look at the likes of Fabrizio Romano, who says there's a year plus extra on the contract as well. Excuse me. And he's going to be playing on that left-hand side. I mean, we'll look at some of the formations in general, but this is just what we need. With the likes of Christian Fuchs leaving the team, the likes of Wes Morgan, two very experienced players that have seen us play in the Champions League quarterfinals, seen us win the Premier League and with the FA Cup recently. We are lacking a little bit of experience, and we'll come on some of the screenshots a little bit later. But overall, Ryan Bertrand, fantastic. He's got a lot of, we'll get on some of the statistics and caps later on. Fantastic Premier League achievement as well. Let's just get into some more of the statistics. So looking at some of the statistics around Ryan Bertrand, we can see he's played 258 Premier League appearances, which is insane. Coming from Chelsea, then over to Southampton. Now he's, I know the logo is a little bit incorrect, but the logo is correct, but the shirt isn't. Joining Leicester City now, 7 goals, 92 wins and 107 losses. Hopefully with us, we'll be able to make his win rate higher than his loss rate at the moment. I mean, some of the statistics are quite impressive. 66% tackle success. A few tackles. Obviously, this is over the period of time he's been in there. And what we can see is that, again, he's quite progressive in the way he plays football. He wants to go forward. He wants to move forward with the ball. And that's something that a lot of our wing-backs and full-backs have in common. And he fits into that role fantastically. And when speaking to the people like... when speaking to a couple of people that are working with Saints fans, who'll probably come on site in a second as well, he's got a good legacy relationship with the likes of Nathan Redmond and other young players. So he's experienced in this role and he knows what he's doing, seeking his next opportunity, but also becoming that left wing experienced player. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is comparison to Fuchs. I know Fuchs has left just recently, but he's the player that he pretty much replaced in the squad in terms of experience. He plays for in that position, and the age is very similar. So we'll get straight into that now. Okay, so as we can see here, we can see that Christian Fuchs does look a tiny bit stronger. I know, don't take this to heart. Obviously, we looked at when we've used this website before, analyticssoccermen.com, to compare certain players like Ndidi and Samora, even though they're not the same. Christian Fuchs and Ryan Bertrand is the same, in my opinion. What's brilliant about Ryan Bertrand's look from this, the vision is fantastic. Apparently, Christian Fuchs is more physical, but I've seen Ryan Bertrand play time in, time out. He's a very physical player as well, but you can see they're at a similar point. You look at the minutes played, I mean, 3,000 for Fuchs, and we know the experience he brings. 10,000 for the likes of Ryan Bertrand, 120 appearances compared to 48. And this is the brilliant thing, you know, you're comparing both of them. One thing I would say as well, Christian Fuchs is 187 centimeters compared to 173 for Ryan Bertrand. He's not a small boy, he's about 6 foot. However, that's still a big height difference. Christian Fuchs obviously had the throws. I didn't know that much about Ryan Bertrand. Third foot left compared to Ryan Bertrand, which is actually NA. So the fact that he can come in, and what I think you'll see a lot of the time is the fact that he'll take the ball, drive into the middle. Kind of like what they'll do Chilwell used to do a lot of the time as well. Putting them together, I think he's going to be a sensational player. Finally, we're going to hand over for this part to Dan from the SaintsView. There's a link to his channel down below. Massive Saints fan for massive over years. Apologies, there's not going to be any visuals. The movie got a little bit messed up, but I'll be able to insert something. Thank you, Dan, for doing this. Take it away.
Hi guys, it's Dan here from the SaintsView. Neil asked me to come on and give you all a bit of insight on Ryan Bertrand, who left Saints this season and is about to join Leicester, apparently on a free transfer. Overall, 7 years at Saints, he'll be remembered fondly, I think, by the majority of the fan base. At times labelled a bit lazy. And I think he got some harsh criticism over his 7 years. He was a very good servant. I mean, we had plenty of left-backs coming through and none of them could kind of take his spot, if you like. Matt Targett had to leave for Aston Villa. We've had Jake Vokins come through and not really impressed the way we would have hoped. Last season, though, didn't have a great campaign. If you look at stats, didn't really get forward that much. defensively, a bit average. And I look at Leicester and I think I just feel it's a bit of a big fish for him, a bit too big. I mean, he'll probably be a backup, and he provides brilliant experience. He's a Champions League winner from his time at Chelsea. But yeah, look, Saints fans really enjoyed having him at St Mary's over the 7 seasons he was here. Obviously, I hope he does well at Leicester. I don't think he'll be getting anywhere near a starting 11, at least for the Premier League on a regular basis. I think he will be brought in as a squad player. I just don't think he's good enough to be starting for a team like Leicester, who are going to be pushing for top 4 again probably this season. So, yeah, obviously I wish him all the best. Again, he's quite old as well. He is getting on a bit now, so maybe he has 2 years at Leicester and then goes on and does something else. I feel a bit surprised that he's going to somewhere like Leicester. That somewhere like Leicester would like to have him after the season he had. He did have a poor campaign, but I guess he provides experience and he's a decent backup. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Ryan Bertrand. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for the review, Dan. Some very interesting points there. A little bit more negative than I would have liked. But however, with the way Southampton finished the season, it probably didn't look the best. And a couple of things to pick up on. Again, loyal, which was fantastic, what you want to hear. Obviously, I know we've only got him on a 2-year contract, but you wanted the fact that he's there and fantastic. He's a bit lazy, which apparently has been harsh by the fans. I think that's something that Brendan Rodgers will get out of him. If you're going to be playing for a team like Leicester City, you're going to have to work harder. We know that, and that's some of the training that we're going to have to do as well. He didn't have the best of campaigns, which I agree. I mean, with the Southampton team that was top of the league, he's come right the way down. But something that he said, there've been a lot of people that have come through. He said, like Target that's come through and now gone to Aston Villa. It's an example again of him keeping his place regardless of who comes, which is a fantastic thing if you think about it. He knows he's not going to be used all the time. He was probably waiting out to see if there's any other clubs that would come in for him that would give him regular team football. Because I agree with Dan as well. The fact that a lot of the time we're not really going to play him as the main left back, especially when everybody is fit. Bearing in mind, he is a stopgap. The likes of Luke Thompson developing how he is, and with James Justin coming back to full fitness, Ryan Bertrand can slot in there and play on that left-hand side where we do need a little bit of cover, because it looks like we're going to be playing wing-backs next season. There'll be a few formations we'll go into in a second. But overall, I'm really happy with it. What Dan said is I can understand a little bit downhearted because of the way that Southampton finished their season. But we'll just get into some more statistics, I think, before we move on to some final thoughts. Okay, so just looking at some of these statistics from FBref, you can see here that, again, some of these aren't the highest. Obviously, this is shots and target and stuff. We want to look more towards the bottom two. So passing attempted, 51%, which is fantastic. A lot of it going forward is fantastic. Obviously, you're looking at Green is probably the best. So in the top 60% for touches, progressive passes received, 58, which is fantastic. Playing on the front foot, what Brendan Rodgers wants to see. Tackles, obviously, is massive. Not the most not the best statistics that I've seen, especially after coming off the likes of Samore and Daka as well. But still, for what we need somebody that is going to be Premier League proven and is going to slot into that left back position and know what they're doing. And I think in this case, Ryan Bertrand does this job fantastically. And just before we finish, we're going to look at some formations. How can we utilize Ryan Bertrand? Where can he fit into the team? Let's have a look. Okay, so the first one I'm going to look at is like a traditional 4-2-3-1. So I'm going to scroll down to the top because obviously Barnes or Brighton, Vardy is kind of a shoe-in, especially with Nacho and Daka coming in. But we're going to concentrate more towards the back end of this. So we're looking at a back three of Fofana, Evans, and then Bertrand and Pereira. So them two, as we've seen of recent, with more of that flying fullback role, being able to get up and down the side of the wings a lot, providing width, providing depth, providing crossing opportunities for the likes of Albright and Barnes and Vardy as well. So this formation, I think, works very well for him. We could definitely see him here as well. But if we wanted to see him in something a little bit more different, a little bit of three at the back with him training somebody, this is how we'd set up. So for this one, I've gone for a 3-4-3 formation. Barnes, Maddison, Daka up front. But more importantly, when we come to the back, obviously we've got Pereira, Tielemans and Didi, then Justin as a wing back. Then we've got Bertrand, who's holding that left wing back position. The same way that we've got Evans and Soyuncu as kind of a back three as well. But what I think Bertrand could do is sit into this position. We don't have a lot of central defenders. And when they get injured, this is where I could see somebody like when Fuchs stepped in in the Leeds match where we played Justin, Fuchs, and Fofana as a back three with James Justin on one, with Luke Thomas on one wing, James Justin on the other. No, James Justin, Marco Brighton on the other. This is a formation I could see potentially Bertrand working as well, where he could play in this kind of role, hold that left centre back role, and then allow Justin to go do his thing. Bearing in mind, Bertrand has a lot of experience and will be able to coach people. Obviously, Evans has got Sionchu and Pereira, not as much Pereira, but Sionchu that he will coach. With James Justin, he still is a bit raw. He's developing massively. And somebody like Bertrand that can come in and really help him, I think would take his game to another level. And just a final one here, if we do go to a back three, we can then push Bertrand out to that left wing back position. Something that he's done very much for Southampton. I know they played a 4-2-2-2 of recent, but I think he is capable of going forward, as we saw some of the statistics earlier, in getting there, getting past the players, taking the ball off the player in great areas and driving forward and providing a cross. That's where I think we could definitely see a lot of the time. He's got a lot of chemistry with a lot of people. I think he can definitely do some good stuff, especially if we're playing two up top. Obviously, Vardy and Daka, but you're looking at the likes of Iheanacho coming in as well. In that wing-back position, I think he's vital. He knows what he's doing. And for that, I think he'll be a great addition to the squad. So what are the final thoughts? I think it's a really good signing. If you think about Daka and Samore, obviously they've taken up most of the budget. They've come in and they're going to be the superstar signings. This signing isn't going to blow anybody's pants off, to be honest. It's not going to be, oh, wow. But what it is, it's the underrated nature. It's the experience, his leadership, the fact that he's gone and won a Champions League with Chelsea, the fact that he's gone and been in the Premier League for so many years and been a starter, as Dan was saying, for the Saints, regardless of who they've got in. And they've had some really young talent. He's managed to hold his spot for the entirety of that, which is fantastic to see. I mean, I'm really excited for this season. And as you guys know, it starts in a couple of weeks. So we can't wait to see what happens. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this kind of video, if you enjoy this kind of format, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Really appreciate all the likes, subscribes, and all the subscribers you've been coming over fantastically of recent. Hopefully you enjoy these kind of videos, and I will see everybody in the next video. So goodbye.